Hi, I'm laying on the floor, working on the lathe. Hey, I want to show you this. Alrighty, I'm down here working on the lathe, or learning about the lathe mostly. So there's the gearing for the slide, right? This one right here, that guy right in there, that's the loose one. That's the one causing a lot of my slop. Here, you don't need that flashlight, do you? So if you take a look, he's got some wiggle to it. That's the one causing my slop. Or I wouldn't say all of it, but the chunk of it. Looks like this is like I know nothing about lathes, by the way. I'm just kind of learning this. This looks like this guy here is like a clutch. So he operates off the screw, and you see this guy here. So whenever we tighten it, it tightens up, acts like a clutch of sorts, and engages the whole mechanism. That's how she works. See? Love to know how things work, right? See how she's just turning now? But whenever I engage the clutch, she won't turn because she's engaged with the main screw up there. The lathe will have to be on, you know? It's neat learning about this stuff. This little tube here, that's for oil. I can put oil in from out here and have it come down and hit the gears. Now this mechanism here is, I believe, for the cross slide, the one up here, that guy there, the one that feeds the tooling back and forth that way. And this brass piece is busted all the way across, and all the gears are gone. I was going to see if I could fix it, but nope. If you look way up top, can you see it way up in there? See the gear? All the other gears are gone. They're not even in there. But that brass thing is busted all the way across. So I ain't never gonna worry about fixing that. It probably crashed at some point and shredded that mechanism, you know? So, yeah, now I know what she looks like down there and some places I could fix or, you know, maybe tighten it up a little. So, yeah, a little better view, huh? Where's that oil hole? Where's that tube at? Ah, it must be that right there. That must be my oil hole. She's clogged shut. That's where that tube goes to. You know? That must be the hole right there where the oil goes in. Good to know, huh? I wonder if I could tighten this nut up. This is that gear that's all sloppy. I wonder if I could get that to tighten up some. See? And take out some of that slop. Now, I did order a couple of things. Mandrel material. I ordered some mandrel material. I'm going to aluminum now, since this lathe is capable of doing a better job than the previous one, you know what I mean? So, mandrel material is going to be aluminum. What else? I ordered a compound tool post. I don't know if it's going to fit. We'll see. It looks close enough that I might be able to make it work. So we would pull this guy off, pull this guy off. Whoops. So what we'd be doing is we'd be pulling all this off here. This would come off. Then I'd put a new bottom piece on, and then put this guy on the new bottom piece. And it's, you know, it's a compound setup, so it has this on it, on this part as well, and that would allow me to turn it and be able to work an angle as well. So compound tool post is what I got. Don't know if it's going to work. The mount is the same basic design, so you know the way it mounts on here, it's the same basic design, so I'm hoping that it's close enough that I can make whatever modifications to get it to work. You know what I mean? We'll see how she goes. And I was looking through my parts. It looks like I found a center drill set up here. So I'll clean her up some, but I found a center drill in my parts. I do not have a drill chuck that'll fit this though. So, and I think it's an MT2, but I don't have a drill chuck. I'll have to get one. I have two here. One's like an MT1 and the other one's like an MT3. And I think this is an MT2. I think that's what you call it. Am I right? But I don't have a drill chuck for this guy. And if you noticed, I managed to get the chuck off. Remember we talking a long time about that? I did manage to get her off. A lot of heat and a lot of patience and, you know, being gentle, and there she is. She's off. So I am currently looking for a 3-jaw chuck that I can get on this. This is an 8-inch 4-jaw chuck. And I'm looking for a 3-jaw setup. And for this mount, a 6-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch chucks seem to be the most common. So I'm probably going to get a 6-inch chuck. It's an 1.5 threaded setup. So I've noticed there's 1 inch threaded here, and 1.5, like 2 1/4 or 1/8 or something like that. This is an 1.5. This lathe over here, this is a 1 inch right here. So that's why, you know, can't use this one. That's a 1 inch. But that's kind of where we're at. Now I got material to make shims for in here. There'd be one here and one here to take out this forward and back slot. Not a big deal if I'm using the live center and pushing against the piece. You know what I mean? It'll hold it back. It's only whenever I'm not using the live center that it might want to float, you know? So I got some material to shim that out. What else? The pulley. I'm currently running a 6-inch pulley, and the speed, it's fine. I could do more work with this. It's close enough, but I'm thinking a 10 or 12 inch is probably where I should have been. So that's something I'm going to do down the road. No time anytime soon, but we're going to eventually probably take this to like probably a 12-inch pulley. Should gear it down considerably, you know what I mean? Because most of my machine work isn't even going to be on the lowest speed. It's going to be on, like, say speed 2, you know, the second to lowest. But I don't know, I feel like I should slow her down some. But that's a 6-inch pulley. I'm going to jump to something bigger. If any of you guys got a pulley laying around, I mean, this is that's like $100 or $150 or something just for pulley. That's why I'm not ordering it right now, you know. But if you guys got one laying around, it's a 1-inch shaft, you know, pulley, you know, I'll take donations. You know what I mean? The 3-chuck jaw, I'm probably going to drop $150 on a used one. The compound, that's like $100 and some dollars. And I'm still looking at a drill chuck. You know, lathes cost money. I got like $150 worth of aluminum on the way to make mandrels, you know? So, yeah. This has been what I've been playing with, though. And spending all my time, and I wouldn't say I haven't put a lot of time into it, but this is where all of my efforts have been lately. I haven't been really working on the saws like I normally do. It's been lathe stuff. I bought some more tooling. So I bought these guys. I wanted to get a setup of tooling with round inserts. So I got those two. And I have more coming. I have another one coming that's longer. It's closer to the length of a boring bar. And it accepts round inserts. So I have one coming like that. And yeah, we're getting there. I have a live center. It's sitting right there. But that drill, this one here, this drill chuck's too big. That's too big of a size. I need the one below it, like this. So, see the taper size? Bit of a difference. You know, I need this one, this size here. And there's a smaller size. I have another. Here's this one. So this is smaller yet. So if you see there, that's even smaller than that last center. So that's why I need to get one. All right. Now, another thing I'm going to do is, see this shelf? It's a little metal shelf I have laying here. I just sat that there. I'll use it to collect, you know, the chips as they come off the lathe. And I think I'm going to take, I have a bunch of this square tubing. Here, this one's too short, but I think I'm going to weld them across the front of the lathe like so. Then I can, one on the front, one on the rear. Then I can stick that guy on there to help catch chips. I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, just coming along, getting more work done, learning more about the lathe, you know what I mean? So whenever I first got the lathe, the bale hopper came to visit, and we sat and we talked about it a lot. And, you know, I was like, I don't know if it's really worth, you know, putting the time and energy in and fixing it and stuff. And he looked at me and he's like, well, you don't really know anything about lathes. And in the process of fixing it, you're going to learn a lot about lathes. You know, you could go and you could buy a nice setup and start running and everything, but you really don't know anything about it. And whenever you go through the process of fixing up something older like this and making it work really good and everything, and he said, you know, you got to make sure that everything's fixed. You take up all your slops and, you know, put the time in to do all that stuff. He says it'll teach you a lot about a lathe, and he's definitely right on that one. I've learned a lot about it. A lot of the terminology I'm still screwing up, but you know, we're learning a lot about lathes, and I know they're all going to be different, but this is mine, and I'm definitely learning a lot about it. So that's where we're at, playing with the lathe. The next thing I'm looking at, though, is this rejaw chuck. That's the next thing I'm looking at getting. So that's kind of where we are at. That's why you haven't been seeing a lot of building going on lately. I'm just kind of, I want to get this thing going so I can start working off of this more, you know? So, alrighty, we'll catch you later.